out of state, and my brother started Jake and Gino, and I started getting more educated and meeting people. And now I have the mastermind. Now, now it's easy. We have all the resources. We have all the people. And I do videos on velocity of money now. I teach people velocity of money. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And it's so simple, but if somebody, you don't learn it, it's not. I want to be a go-giver and help people, but it also helps me stay engaged. 3 years of running it, I'm the teacher, and the humble aspect of it is I'm learning from everybody. Always, if you don't have fear, you're gonna mess up. Why am I doing that? Because that's a fear. I like the control of filling my units, and I'm the leader. I'm not a boss. I'm the leader of the company.
Hey, what's up, guys? I have the one and only Marco Barbaro here. He is the leader of an amazing mastermind that I'm actually a part of, the MIH Mastermind, with over 200 members. He started scaling his multifamily when he was age 23 and now is in 42 deals, LP and GP in multiple deals himself. He's a phenomenal not only speaker, but also a person, a father, and a husband. So without further ado, Marco, how you doing? All right, guys, we have Marco Barbaro here. He's not only a mentor of mine, he has been phenomenal in the mastermind and Jake and Gino. He's got so much information. He used to be, own a pizza shop himself, right? And still does a lot of cooking. I'm going to let Marco take over. Marco, tell us more about you and how real estate has helped you. Maybe bring us back to when you first got started.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like you see back, just a humble story of how I started and my thoughts on it on multifamily first was graduated college in IT, went into the restaurant business with my brother. Everybody knows this story. My brother, my father. I went to work with my dad. And I was going to work 70, 80 hours for G Capital. I said, might as hell with that. I'll work with my father. I loved in the restaurant business with my brother. So multifamily, when I was 23 years old, even up till 35 is way different than what multifamily is to me now. My father, who didn't go to college, and he's my hero, because he taught me how to buy my first four family when I was 23. Like college didn't teach me that. High school didn't teach me that. My friends, my dad taught me that. He's like, you're going to make a lot of money in the restaurant business. We had a nice family restaurant. He's like, stocks, crypto, back then we didn't have crypto, but stocks, all your diversifications, gold, whatever. He's like, you need to learn multifamily. And he came here without college. He retired like at 52, 53 years old by buying two families and four families, modestly. He didn't know how to buy bigger. He didn't get the loans on it. He would buy him like a $400,000 four family cash. And then and the old school way. And then like the bigger ones, he would put a small loan on it, but they would cash flow a lot. He did it the slow way, worked all his life. But like at 50, who do you know that doesn't go to college, retires at 53? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people work to 65, 70 and they have master's degrees and everything. So yeah, he helped me buy that four family. I understood why I bought it, and it was cash flowing like $3,000 a month, me and my brother, like $1,500 each. And I'm like, wow, this pays two expensive cars, like two nice cars, every month, plus tax benefits. Plus, I saw that. And he says, looking into that, all I want to do is like, once I saw that, pick up a book and learn more. How can I buy more? How can I maybe buy a 20? I never thought about a 20 unit. So one mistake we made in our journey was we started buying shopping centers. We bought, my father did. He bought one and I gave him like $100,000 and he put the bulk of the money. My brother gave the 100,000 also. And then we bought a second. That one did well. Then we bought a second one. This is in New York when I was like 28, 30, in the midst of building my houses. I built a brand new house. My uncle was a builder. I was doing good. And then instead of multifamily, we thought this was a great path because one of our friends was doing shopping centers and he probably made about $100,000 passive a month.
Wow.
Yeah, easily. At that time, I didn't think that was achievable, where now I have 42 multifamily deals and I know it's achievable. So we kind of made a mistake. The space is for many people, but it wasn't for us. Our second shopping center we bought, we didn't lose money, but it was a lot of struggles in the recession of 2007. It hurt us because the plumber went out of business in the bottom back and it was $3,800 a month and he had 10 trucks. And all of a sudden he's like, in February 2007, he can't pay anymore, and you just don't rent that spot out like this. So if you're not capitalized, it was tough. So, in my journey, I then shifted and got lucky in a way that, when I think I was like 34, 35, my brother and he always wanted to. We started looking out of state and for multifamily, you know,
Mm.
and instead of the 4 unit, I was going to try and buy more 4 units in New York, but I realized New York, the taxes are high. Everything's high. Like you think stuff cash flows, you're like, oh wow, that's great cash flow. Then you go buy out of state now, as we do, and you're like,
Yeah.
it cash was 4 times the amount on the same property type, you know. So we started out of state, and the one thing where multifamily changed for me, um, in when I was like in my early 20s, was I was doing it just because I knew it was something good to do. I didn't know the power of it. I didn't see the potential of like I saw, yeah, the four family give 1,500, but I had to put a lot of work into it, a lot of money. It was hard. I didn't have the
Hmm.
systems built. I didn't have the education on it. So it was really hard. But if you educate, you read books, you join the right mastermind, when you get all that support behind you, it's not hard. It's hard
Right.
when you do it alone. It's like it's a second job that you don't know that you need to learn. Just like being a chef, I learned how to be a chef, and by age 31, I was winning awards.
Wow.
So multifamily changed when we bought out of state, and my brother started Jake and Gino, and I started getting more educated and meeting people. And now I have the mastermind. Now now it's easy. We have all the resources. We have all the people. We're doing it. You could do it alone, but when you do it alone, it's that full-time job. It's hard. You don't have all the answers. You don't have the resources. So we purchased a 26 unit. This is a life-changing thing for me. 25 unit, 26 unit in Tennessee, Knoxville, in 2013.
Hmm.
And 1 year later, I gave my brother and Jake, I gave him the money. We're in it. Like we work at the restaurant. My brother's like, it's a good deal. I didn't know velocity of money. This was the aha moment for me. Like, holy cow. Like I should have known the velocity of money, but nobody taught it to me. College didn't teach it to me. You got to read it in
Mm.
books. You got to learn it at Jake and Gino. You got to, so, or online. I do videos on velocity of money now. I teach people the velocity of money. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And it's so simple, but if somebody, you don't learn it, it's not. A year later, we raised the rents from like 500 to 800. I can't remember what the rents we bought it, refied it. And Jake calls me and goes, here's your 50 grand back. I'm like, wow. I'm like, how long does that take for me to make it work? Gave it back to him, said, keep it. He's like, yeah, we got another deal coming, and put that money into another deal. Now that deal's an infinite return. And it was at the time was giving me on $50,000 was giving me like 800, 1,000 a month. Me and my brother Jake, we refied the deal, still give me 800 a month after year one at
Wow.
an infinite return. You want to hear how much that gives us? We bought that property for 499, I think, in
Right.
Tennessee in 2013. It now gives me 3,000 to 3,500 a month on 50,000. You do the math on how much percentage. Okay, what's that? 180. It refis itself every year.
But then you already took the 50,000 out.
Yeah, it's an infinite return. But if you do the math of cash on cash, it's unheard of.
Yeah.
So it's a patience game. We've had the property for since 2013. That's a generational wealth. But when I saw year two, the 800 went up to 1,200, and then like 50, it went up to 1,500. I'm like, on $50,000 only with I'm getting $1,500. Now with the four family, I'm at $3,000, and I had a small mortgage. I'm mortgage free with 2 deals.
Mm.
So I'm like, it clicked. When I got that 50 check back, I'm like, how long does that take you to make it work? If you have a great job, a couple months, that's somebody's salary sometimes, a young guy starting out. So, and then the tax benefits. It clicked. I'm like, wow, I need to invest 100, 200, 300 in a deal like this. Like if I had 200 grand in a deal like this and I got the 200 grand back and the cash flow would be like 4 or 5, then I start doing the numbers and I'm like, I could get to 10,000 passive pretty quick if I could find deals.
Right.
But the one mistake people make is they think this is a get rich thing, like crypto or buying like a penny stock or IPOs. The thing people that we teach is the 1, 5, 10. I started 23, and then like at 35, I really started out in New York. We always wanted out in New York, but we couldn't. I started out in New York. You got to be in the space like dedicated. These people join these groups and they want to do 2,000 units in 1 year and a half. That's great, but how much money did you really invest in those 2,000 units? How much
Hmm.
general partnership do you really have in those deals? Some people have 2,000 units or cash flowing $3,000 a month. I'm cash
Right.
flow $3,000 a month on 50,000 and another 100,000 I put into the forfeit. You know what I'm saying? Not $2 million down. So what I did was from age 21 to 43, I worked my ass off at the restaurant. I did the long game. I was a chef. I liked it. I still now I'm multifamily chefs now. I cook and do multifamily. But I didn't, a lot of these young guys are like, I hate my job. I hate when I hear that. I'm like, get
Yeah, they
another
want
job.
to get out. They just want
It's
to
like,
quit their W-2. And what do you suggest when people want to do
so
that?
when I hear that, I hate my job. I come from such humble beginnings of my father being from Italy and him talking to me when I was younger. Like, everybody should be grateful you live in the best country to have a job.
Mm,
Like, if you don't like the job you have, go get another one. Even if it's a little less pay, do something you like. My buddy
mhm.
was in some, I think it was IT or something, and he was making like 150. He took a pay cut because he wanted to become a cop. And when he finally became a cop, he was down to 90, but he was happy. Do something you like and then live within your means with something you like. So you don't have to like, I have to quit my, and the young people nowadays, they say I hate my job. It's because they don't realize that it's their mindset. The older generation was happy having a job in the 80s, 90s, whatever.
Right.
So that job is that vehicle to buy multifamily to get out of your job that you don't need to have to quit. Some people quit 828. No, my mentor told me I need full-time multifamily to get the result. That's fine. That's your plan. So that's a great plan. But that wasn't for me. I had a beautiful restaurant that was very hard to run. I mean, Sundays and Mondays I was off, but Sundays I was doing payroll and bills at nighttime, 11 o'clock at night. You know how it is. Mondays it was closed
Yeah.
already. I would go in, just make sure everything's okay. I would still take caterings on Mondays. Entrepreneurs, we say we're off, but you end up working 7 days a week. I would work at night from like 10 to 1 in the morning sometimes. I didn't want, my wife is bad. I didn't want her to see me overworking.
Right.
She was,
You're never really off. I
you know,
wake up early just to work so
yeah, I
that we
mean,
could spend time with the family later in the day.
yes, I mean, my approach, my advice to people is I took the long game approach of an entrepreneur. I had a great business that I didn't have to quit. I wanted to quit. I actually set a goal. This is my goal. My wife and I told her this when I was 26 years old. I was getting married, and I actually told my wife. I said I set a long term goal. I said by 40, 41, I want to be out of the restaurant business. And if I'm not, I did some stocks or buy a laundromat or some other business, even like laundromats, diversification, some passive income streams. I didn't know it was multifamily, but at 26, I swear, I told my wife, and she looked at me and she rolled her eyes. She like laughed a little, because at the time, like she's like, "Well, what are you gonna? How do you?" I said, "I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I might look into an Amazon store. If at the time they didn't have them. Maybe a franchise in ice and insulation that my friends does. So I was going to take my money and find certain businesses to leave by 40 or 41 if
Mhm.
I succeeded. So as we were going, me and my brother were looking at businesses like laundromats that we could put somebody there and make a few thousand a month or whatever. But the vehicle of multifamily came to me once I had the four family. And then once I got the second property, it clicked at 35. I'm like, I am doing nothing else. But I don't care if I'm here till 45 or 50. I'm going to take my time and get out of this restaurant with multifamily. So I did the 1-5-10. I did the first year you get in, and I remember like I started really getting educated when I was in my early 30s. Because like when I bought
Mhm.
that four family, I bought it, I'm running it, it's easy. I'm doing turns.
Right.
It's really easy to run. There's not many bills attached. But I really started educating myself in my 30s. My brother started Jake Gino. I got the platform and he's like, study. And that's when I really 5, 7 days a week, I would spend 3 hours a day. I would time block, like,
Right.
gym, exercise. And then from like 12 to 4 during the day, I would go to work. I would actually go to work instead of like 10, I would go in at 8 when nobody was there, get all work done,
Mm.
go home at 12, have lunch with my wife. From 12 to 4, I would do multifamily videos while I was running the restaurant. And then maybe either go back to the restaurant or work from home if they need anything. And I was doing double, and my path was once we started buying those deals, the velocity of money. I also got lucky in a way that I started buying in 2012, like 13 in that upturn, and we were getting deals. I teach evolution. We were getting deals broker on market with no competition or very little competition.
Wow.
Evolution of multifamily now is in 2023, we're back in the recession. We might hit that. My brother was saying we might hit that broker on market again, which I don't think it'll ever come back. But then with all these education platforms and all these people joining multifamily, there's no your broker on market. It's direct to seller now, drive for dollars. It's all this, it's very competitive. So I was very fortunate 2012 to 18 to really get into about 2000 units of our own generational wealth, no syndication, that every single deal, say it was like 13 or 14, we refied in like 12 months to 14 months.
Mm,
Because this is the thing that young people don't understand. It's great to close 5 deals, but how much are you really putting in the deals? You need to drop 100, 200, 400, 500. You need to have money. So your job is that vehicle to have money to put into deals.
hmm.
That's overlooked. They quit their job, and then here's the one thing, and then I'll have you ask something. A lot of these mentors out there like, quit your job because then you could, be your own boss and do an Amazon store and then do that franchise, do this. So a lot of times people quit a job that's not that bad as an engineer or something for a company to scramble and do like 7 businesses where they're working from 8 in the morning till like midnight. And one of my friends is working from 8 in the morning to midnight because he quit his job and he's making less or the same as his job because his mentor's pushing him to quit his job just so he
Hmm.
can say, I quit my job and now I have more time. But you don't.
Right.
You're spinning your wheels with all these. He started like 5 businesses of franchises and 2 of them aren't going good. You know what I'm saying? So it's all,
Yeah, you trade one thing for another, and you thought it was greener on the other side.
it all depends. I took the 21-year-old to 43-year-old process, you know.
Right. At what point did you realize, you know what, this is the time to sell the restaurant and leave the restaurant? Was there a number that you hit? Was there a timing? Tell me
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. These are surreal days in my life. I remember certain days in my life because they're just mind blowing. My brother's 4 years older than me, and he was investing like the Hammond. He invested 300,000 in, and I invested 117,000 in. And Jake put three in, and the team, we put 4 people, we put $1 million. That cash flows right now for me like 5,000 a month on $117,000. Just that one
Wow.
deal. Unreal. That do the math, the percentage of monthly. My brother put in 300,000. He's getting 15,000 a month from that one deal. I didn't have the 300,000 to put in. I wish I did. I would be getting 15 grand from that one deal. So it was February of 2016, I think, or maybe 15. I think it was 2016. Me and my brother jump in the truck and we're going up to our 4 family. And we got the draws just sent to us from all of our deals. I think at the time we had 5 or 6, maybe 5. We're just starting to. And my brother we look at how much I'm making in my passive for the month. And my brother looks at I look at how much, because we're on the same thing. It's like we did the total. I'm like, it's more than you make at the restaurant monthly. So I looked at
Mm,
him like, wow, you're not gonna come anymore. I'm like, you don't have to come to work.
yeah.
You, it was a moment, and I'm 4 years younger, and I felt like, oh man, I'm not there yet. But then like my bro looks at me, he's like, dude, you're 4 years younger than me. He's like, you're investing 4 years of money less than me, like, than he was. So I was, and my password was really good. It just was under his because if he put in 200, I put in 100. If he put in 3, I put in 150.
Right.
So it was like my passive was almost there. So
Hmm.
he's like, and me and my brother are very close. I could see it. He's like maybe worried because the restaurant was so hard to run. I mean, we were all in, me and him. We had a busy restaurant. I had LaGuardia Airport catering. I had Sloan Catering. I built a machine. I built it from 500,000 a year in sales to 3.2 million. We only sat 75 people. A
Mm,
restaurant that sits 75 people doesn't sometimes do numbers like that, you
right.
know. So we went and found the money. So I looked at him. I'm like, that day I started telling him like he's transitioning out basically. It was 2000, I think 2016 February. I know it was February because it was cold and we're going up to the house. And that's when it hit that like I looked at him, I said, whatever I have to do in my life, I can now leave my job. I'm not gonna rush. I was still young. I was still under 40. And I'm like, I never rush. See, somebody would get the urge to like, oh, I gotta do whatever I gotta do to get a deal. I'm not gonna rush. I love the restaurant. I was winning awards. I was already on like award number 7. Every year I was winning an award. In 2019, I got invited to write for a big time magazine, which I turned down because I sold the restaurant. So I'm like, you know what? The word patience. I had patience. I teach patience, and people don't. At that moment, that person was like, "Yo, Gino," I could ask my brother, like, "Gino, can I borrow 200 grand for the next deal?" And I put 100 grand. I never did that. I want to borrow money from my brother, and he would have let me borrow, but to get me out, said no. I want to do it on my own. I want to be patient. I want to get there without borrowing money, and I did. I could have went, and my uncles and aunts, I could have. Maybe I should have, but my journey was patience and enjoying my journey. I teach you a journey,
Mm,
and then he got out. He got out, and and he's like, "You're gonna last 1 year without me." So it's 2016. I actually lasted 3 years without my brother. And we did a deal, a couple deals in 2016, 2017, like 2 deals, 2018, 2 deals. And when 2018 hit, I did those 2 deals. I looked at my cash flow. I'm like, I need one more deal. But we were getting to the top market and rates were going to go up. And I think rates were they said they're going to go crazy. And I called Mike Elchi and I'm like, Mike, I need one more deal. And I think the market cycle in my life, it's not going to happen right now. Things are working out that like, wow, I might have to wait 4 years because if we don't get deals, it's getting so competitive. I'm gonna have to wait 4 years. All of a sudden, Jake calls me. He's like, "Yeah, we have a deal," and I'm like, "Jake, I need to put 1 or 200,000," and I did, and I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna sell this place. I hit my number, and my number is what Kiyosaki teaches. Some people say they're all in is 10,000. We'll make it an easy number, and they hit 11,000, and they're like, "I could quit my job. I'll bet on
Mm-hmm.
myself." That's
Mm-hmm.
fine. That's okay. You're bet, and that's good. You could bet you just got your bills covered. So the first couple of years, you better watch your vacations. You better watch you're not buying cars. You better watch that. You better keep that at 10,000, and you better find a way to go up. Now, when you leave that job, I waited till my all in was like Kiyosaki says 2 times. Like say your all in's 10,000, your mortgage, your bills, your vacation, clothes, food, everything. I waited till my all in was like say it was like 18 or 20,000 versus 10.
Like
And
two
that's
times
patience.
expenses.
Yeah, like Kiyosaki says that. That's patience because not a lot of people have that. They say their all-in's 10K, which that's a low number. Now everybody in New York, their all-in's like 20, 25K. I'm just saying I'm using that number. A
Right.
lot of people hit that 11 and they're like, oh my God, I can leave. So and that's fine for people. It wasn't fine for me. Even when I left and my all-in was like double, I still was nervous.
Right. Because you had a
Because
family. I mean, you already had a family, your girls, right? 3 kids.
yeah, I'm a frugal person. I do take risks. It just I didn't hate my job, but at 2019 is when without my brother, it wasn't fun anymore. Me and him would have lunch every day. If something broke or somebody quit, like there was 3 problems in one day, I would handle one, he'd handle two, vice versa. So I had that support. When he left, man, I still made a lot of money. It was not as much fun. That's when I thank God for the vehicle of multifamily. And that's why I say 1, 5, 10. You need 8. Like I'm going to use you as an example. You came in, you joined Jake and Gino, you joined MIH, you
Mm-hmm.
met me, you did 8 deals, and you already had a lot of limited partner deals
Mm-hmm.
before, which is great. So you had the cash flow coming in. Now you're diversifying, and you're still an LP mindset, and you're doing JV deals, and you had so much immediate success. But you still need those 8 years. In 8 years, the appreciation, the refis, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Your 8 year journey, you're going to explode on compounding.
Right. How
You
has
know,
it for you? How has it changed the trajectory of your family and your wife, your kids doing what you've done right now?
oh man, it's it's been unbelievable. I don't even care about the money. Like go buy a Lambo. I don't care about any of that. What I could teach my daughters. So when I retired in 2020, January, right before COVID, sold a restaurant and moved down to Florida. I took like 2 months off, 3 months off. I was working with my brother a little bit. He gave me like a part-time thing I actually took a few months off and then I had to get back into it, because I was like, that's great. I took a couple months off. And then I just went full multifamily. And I think just being able to teach my daughters the power of multifamily and what I'm doing now, wish I could teach them about being a chef, whatever, and they're learning in school, but it's generational wealth. So like I always say, my deals 1 to 15 was from me. Like, and
Mhm.
when you conquer that money thing, it's a great feeling. You're like, I could retire. And like it did that, but then it's like, what's your purpose in life? Like
Mm.
entrepreneurs like us, after 2, 3 months, this is great walking on the beach, hanging out, going out with my wife, but progress is happiness.
Right.
So you conquer the money world in a way. It's not conquered, but you're there, you're financially free. Now it's not about the money. Now it's about progress. It's about 1% better every day. It's about getting smarter, about training your brain even better. My brain was
Mhm.
trained as a chef. I didn't have time to become smarter.
Mhm.
Now I have time to become really smart and read books, podcasts, go to events, learn, be in a mastermind. So those deal 1 to 15 was for me. And then my purpose after that now was I was going to take it easy, but then I got nervous. I'm like, I'm okay. But when I leave, and if I leave my daughters these deals and it's money, they could mess everything up, even though
Right.
it's in trust, even though it's good with good partnerships. So my purpose was deals 16 to 35 is for them, and they're not going to have to work. And that's
Mm.
for them now. And I have 42 total. Now deal 35 to 42 is for my kids now. Now I'm building generation, that's generational wealth, but it's only generational wealth is those deals are only good is if I'm able to teach my daughters how to take care of them. And I could get a CEO and I don't need the CEO. I can show my older daughter Viviana how to run the company, how to run everything. Or I could also have the CEO and the trust that to help oversee, you know.
Hmm.
And deals, I'm at deal 42. My purpose now is because somebody said to me, when's enough is enough. I'm like,
Mm.
it is enough. I don't need any more. My purpose is my kids. It's for them. I don't do things a deal for the money now. The money will follow, but it's for them. I'm getting the 60 deals. I'm getting 80 deals. I built the machine of the mastermind of 195 friends and family. We built real family in there that I can actually not just hand them money and deals. And my purpose is so that they learn the right way. And when I'm not here, it could keep going on, you
Right.
know.
Right. And that's, with your mastermind, you doing deals is one thing, but now you're teaching others. What's driving you to share it with others as well? Is it to really showcase what you've done because others are struggling? What came up? How did you even think about that to start a mastermind?
Um, I think it's goes back to my dad, the story of just being a go-giver. My father didn't have much, but he was a go-giver, man. Just a
Mm.
humble guy, hardworking Italian guy. Um, and all my life, looking at him, he was always very generous to everybody with his time, with whatever he had. I want to be in that book, The Go-Giver. I read it. And when I was at the restaurant, 2015, I was a go-giver, but I couldn't be as big of a go-giver. I want to reach financial freedom because I want to be a full-time go-giver. When I started the mastermind, and you fully understand this because you're on the chat, you see what I talk about. It's not a scaling group. It's not one of those big companies, the education platforms out there like many of them that are scaling, which they're not, that's good. That's their plan. Mine was more of a hyper-focused family for us all to come in and really do well together because it's smaller, it's more tight knit, and it's very hard for me to assemble what I assembled. But you see the power of it. The success rate is about 95% versus a 20% success rate. And being in that mastermind and being the leader, and I'm telling you, like Josh Stoll, I got him into he's in a deal with me, a generational wealth deal, and he's in like three other teams. Just that feeling of when he texts me like you changed my life, man. Like I'm in 4 deals because of you. He quit
Mhm.
his job. That's the best feeling in the world to be a go-giver. That was the whole mission of the mastermind was to I want to be a go-giver and help people, but it also helps me stay engaged. 3 years
Mm.
running it, I'm the teacher, and the humble aspect of it is I'm learning from everybody. We what do we teach? We teach journey and we teach student for life.
Mhm.
So I achieved with this mastermind. When we did it the first year, if it didn't go as good, I told the if we didn't get the right people, law of attraction, if I didn't get results, if my goals weren't met, we're going to stop it. My dad taught me only do things if you're going to do them right and you get the right results. The right results are not only am I teaching, but I'm learning and keeps me engaged. I'm helping people and they're helping me. It's a true family, a testament to it.
That's awesome. Now I want to ask you a few questions as we get towards the end of the podcast here. The number one question that I like to ask you is, what keeps you up at night now?
Oh man, it's hard to sleep. It really is. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I get so much energy. Like, so, it's being on a great team, on great teams. I have generational wealth deals with Yosef Hendra, Joe Sullivan, and then generational wealth deals with Hadar. I'm part of Sharpline. It's our companies are doing well, and it's very energizing getting deals and running the deals right, and the opportunity to help my daughters. You know.
Mm. Any fears or doubts that you have right now that you want to share with people?
Always. You want to
Always.
be vulnerable? Entrepreneurs always, if you don't have fear, you're gonna mess up.
Hmm.
As an entrepreneur, my restaurant did so well, but like I remember my restaurant, I would always worry we got to keep the numbers doing well. Multifamily is the same. Like me and Chris, we closed 13 amazing deals in KC and Ohio in Columbus, Ohio. Now, once you close them, it's great, money's coming in. We're self-managing. I'm on lead, like I'm retired and I'm heading the leasing with Nick. People are like, Marco, you're worth so much money. Why are you doing leasing? Like, I'm on my phone. My wife said the same thing. Like, why are you doing that? Don't you pay people? Why am I doing that? Because that's a fear. I like the control of filling my units, and I'm the leader. I'm not a
Mhm.
boss. I'm the leader of the company. And my property managers see I'm sending them leads and they're blown away. They're like, oh my God, you're helping us. Like, you're filling our units with us and for. They get
Mm.
paid to do that, and I'm assisting them. I'll give you an example. Our 64 unit, I met this construction guy who's there for 2 or 3 years in near Warrens, near our 64 unit. I networked with him. He needed 3 units. He needed 5 units. I signed 3 leases in one day. I sent him over to Dana, the property. She never signed 3 leases in one day. That, you know how
Mm.
much that helps her? That property is 100% occupied. So now he actually took 2 more. She calls me up. He took 5. I'm making her job easier. She's gonna like her job and she's gonna stay with us 3, 4, 5 years instead of quitting because it's so stressful and maybe she doesn't like her bosses.
Mm.
So that fear inside of me as an entrepreneur is I'm dedicated 7 days a week to help with leasing, you
That's
know.
awesome. That's awesome. Now, the next question is, what are, when people first meet you, what are the three misconceptions about you when they first meet you?
Oh, I kind of tone it down. You see the passion and energy on the call today.
Yeah.
I I uh I just have a lot of energy, man, a lot of motivation. And but I always say with the motivation, you got to back it up with results. I do. I back up
Right.
my so you got a lot of these motivational speakers that get on stage and they're like, do this, and they're like always they're pumping you up. I think that's great for them. Like, there's a lot of really good ones out there. But the misconceptions about me, maybe um like that's what it is. Maybe he's very motivated. Does he back it up with results or stuff like that? I think.
Do people ever say, Marco, of course you can do that. You had it easy. Do people ever
Oh,
say that?
everybody does. People don't realize, then they hear my story maybe, or the people who know me don't. They know the grind. Like my wife. My wife saw how hard I worked at that restaurant, man. It's just like you with your offices.
Hmm.
No, they don't. When remember I gave one of those scary stories about how we're building a property management company, and I gave an example of my restaurant, how one of my guys got arrested, and I had to go bail him out,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then you're laughing because when somebody like you're running your offices, exact same stuff.
yeah.
Sometimes a W-2 guy who has a corporate job may not know what I went through at the restaurant. They may not know this. They see Marco Barbaro now. I tell the young guys, if they like Justin in the mastermind and why, like what I went through, the embracing the suck from age 21 to 40. I embraced the suck, but I love to cook, but there was so much difficulties of running that restaurant. I was getting unhealthy. My sciatic was hurting because of
Mm.
I'm picking up heavy weights over there, the stress on my back, my adrenals. I sell the restaurant in 3 months. I'm perfectly like healthy. I'm walking a lot, eating a lot better, you know. So yeah,
That's awesome. What does the next 3 to 5 years look like for you, man?
patience again.
Okay.
So I closed 7 deals in 2020, 8 deals in 2021, and 12 deals in 2022. Everybody in the mastermind, the people and beginners, as a go-giver, I meet the beginners. I may do 1 deal this year
Right.
because the deals were in a recession, volume is down. Everybody's getting excited, seller financing, and people are in trouble. Sellers really aren't budging that much right now. People are
Hmm.
closing deals. Some people are rushing, maybe paying too much. I'm being patient where I did 12 deals last year. If I'm doing one, well, how many do you think the beginners are doing? Like good deals. So I'm being patient because I think, and my brother, by the way, my brother actually has gotten 3 deals this year, but they're really good and they're really good deals. But that's different for him. I'm being patient because I may only find one this year, and I have one lined up actually, a really good one in July. Um, and I'm really looking forward my next 3 to 5 years. I think 2024, 25, 26, 27. Those are the opportunity years. I don't
Mm.
know yet. I'm going to analyze like my 2012 to 18. Those are the opportunity years.
Wow.
2007 to 12 was the real opportunity years, but I lived in fear because I had no mastermind and I was saving my business. I couldn't buy deals.
Right.
But now I'm not saving my restaurant. Now I have 20 years of education. Now I'm excited about the recession.
Mm.
Now, and I think I'm more excited about 2024. I actually have 7 refis that are probably going to happen when the rates settle, whatever. Probably October, November of 2024. Maybe later, maybe February of 2025, maybe earlier, maybe June of 2024. Patience. I don't care. I'm not looking at it. I'm not, but they're definitely going to happen. I have definitely 5, possibly 7. But somebody who rush right now, like, oh, let me get them done middle of 2000. I don't care. I'm there. I'm enjoying my journey, my life. When they come, they come, and that's when I'm really gonna. When those happen in 2024, 2025, and six is gonna be a time where I can really go after it. And in my life, as you notice, Alex, you too, I never rushed.
Hmm.
Everybody I meet and what they join these education groups, and they're like they feel they like I invested 25K or 30K into myself, like I need the deals. You don't need anything. You need to get educated and you need to really just be in the space 5 to 10 years.
Right. Right. Awesome. Well, Marco, thank you so much for sharing your journey, your story. I really appreciate you and for running the mastermind because it's definitely helped me out as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex.
For those of you who like this episode with Marco Barbaro, you want to watch other episodes like that, watch here. To subscribe, make sure you click here.